So I'm lucky to have with me today Sammy Wilson, who's the MP for East Antrim in Northern Ireland. Great to meet you again, Sammy.
And nice to meet you again, Ron, and also in this capacity.
Yes, exactly, supporting cash, but you're a great supporter of cash yourself, aren't you?
I am, and I do it, first of all, because I believe that we need that freedom of payment for individuals, and also I know that the majority of my constituents are very, very anxious that we find a way of preserving, first of all, people's ability to get cash, and secondly, then to be able to use the cash once they've got it. Because, you know, at two ends of the scale there are threats being made. First of all, fewer banking facilities, fewer cash machines, and then at the other end, many retailers saying we're no longer taking cash. And for many people, cash is a lifeline. It's a way of budgeting. It's for some of them just have greater comfort in cash, and some are very unhappy about electronic movements of money because they believe that it can be defrauded so easily.
Well, exactly, but you know, it's interesting you mentioned budgeting. A charity did a survey and they reckon that 16 million people are using cash to budget. Well, there are only 30 million households in the UK, so that means one person every two households is using cash to budget. I mean, we really have got to keep cash for those people, but not them alone, but that's so important, isn't it?
And Ron, I guarantee if you drill down into that, you would find that the households which are most likely to use cash as a means of budgeting are the households which are most vulnerable when it comes to hardship, etc. So, you know, you're actually penalising some of the least able families to work their budgets if you take cash away from them.
Well, one of the things that we found is that all of the UK's neighbours, so you're looking at Belgium, France, the Netherlands, Denmark and so on, they've put in place laws to protect cash use. Even in some cases, where such as the Netherlands, they've got far more sophisticated payment methods than we have over here. So we're a real outlier. So it seems a nonsense that we're not protecting the British public.
Well, it does, and sometimes I wonder, who is it is pushing the agenda? The banks prefer not to have cash because they can keep better control and better knowledge of what people are spending their money on, or some of the big retail organisations wanting to have that degree of knowledge about how people spend their money or whatever, or is it simply just carelessness and negligence by the government that, well, yeah, it's an issue, but we're not going to give it any priority?
Well, I think it has been the banks pushing it, but now is the time to act, because when we surveyed the British public through YouGov in 2023, 71% of adults said they wanted a law put in place, and that amounts to 40 million voters. That is a lot of people who want it, and it'll cost the government nothing. The government can introduce this at no cost, and the good thing is if they step in quickly and do it, not too many businesses have actually switched, so the cost to businesses to switch back to accepting cash will be minimal. So it's a win-win situation, isn't it?
And hopefully they will move quickly. I mean, if there's the overwhelming public demand, and I know from the post bag that I get, because now and again I'd put up wee tweets about, you know, businesses not taking cash, or somebody has come in to me and said, look, the cash machine in my area is now gone and this is making it more difficult. So you'd put a tweet out about it, and I mean, I must say it is one. It's not the major issue when it comes to your post bag, but certainly there are enough people contact me as an MP to alert me to this is something that people are concerned about.
And it's easy to fix.
And it's easy to fix. It doesn't take money to fix. The government doesn't spend anything. It just has to put a law saying, look, when you go into a business, you should be allowed to use legal tender to pay for the goods or services. I mean, I've seen occasions in here, in London, where I remember I went into a restaurant and said, sorry, you don't take cash. It wasn't clear on the door. Had it been clear on the door, I wouldn't have. I insisted, well, if you want me to pay for the meal, take cash. I don't care how you deal with it. You take my money, I've eaten it.
They were not getting their meal back, and nor did they want it.
So if you want paid for it, you take payment in the way in which I prefer.
I've done exactly the same. There was not a proper message that we didn't accept cash. And I said, no, you'll have to take it, because that...
Yes.
And also, if you've already eaten a meal, you've got a contract. So basically, contract law says they must accept cash, or at least they can't pursue you if they don't accept your cash. And I think, you know, the thing is that small businesses will be protected as well, because there's no doubt the card schemes give better deals to the bigger businesses, and that means that the margins of the little businesses are squeezed if all they've got is cards, because they're paying more for those card services. Well, with cash, it's a level playing field.
I can't remember the exact figure that he gave me, but there was a small business in my own constituency. It was a small shop, serviced a housing estate.
Yeah.
It was a limited market. And I remember he told me that he didn't want to have to use cards, and he encouraged people to give him cash for the simple reason, he said, if you count the fees that I pay, it's an enormous overhead on my business. And I mean, I can't remember the figure he gave, but it was thousands of pounds.
Absolutely, yeah.
And he says that's an overhead to me. I'm a small business, and it's a marginal business for me.
Yeah.
If the people want me to stay here, they've got to find ways of cutting down my costs.
But actually, some businesses have said to me, small businesses, well, it means that I have to get rid of a member of staff, because the cost of those cards is more than the cost of a staff member.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make sense jobs-wise either. Sammy, it's great talking to you, and thank you for your support.
And all the best with your campaign, and rest assured of my full support for it.
Thank you, Sammy.
Okay, thank you.